we are about to start the first session, Kitchen Confidential, the secrets of having a great nerve center of a successful food service and hospitality business. Our esteemed panelists, Chef Manoj Rai, founder, Macchiatto. Dinesh Rajagopalan, Nyati. Pinaki Banerjee, MD, Rational. Pradeep Mathur, MD, Mathur Hospitality Services. Rakesh Tara, Vice President, Business Development, India and Saarc region, and it. And our moderator for today is Rajen Boghani, CEO, Eurotech. Over to you, Rajen.
Hello. Good morning, everybody. Kitchen efficiency. I think how many of here are from the restaurant business? Can I just raise the hands? People from the restaurant industry. 1, 2. So it's very important to understand the kitchen efficiency because that's your heart and soul of your business. You know, people look that kitchen brings the maximum revenue if your food is being cooked well, served nicely, and, you know, quality-wise, the taste-wise. So, but what we will look at the kitchen when we start building up a kitchen, the first basic starts from your designing, planning, executions on a drawing board. So my first question goes to Mr. Mathur. How important it is to design a kitchen which is very efficient, and how you, when you design a kitchen, how you traditional cooking and latest technology, how you bring both together to make it more efficient?
Today, designing of kitchen is a very big challenge. Most of the time, kitchen is the place, is normally leftover place of the total premises. Kitchen is the place not basically thought of right from the beginning. People try to say that let the restaurant or the commercial area be more and more and more. Finally, the kitchen is leftover space. Finally, kitchen is a very small space, and people want to have the best food out of it, and people want to have the best number of meals out of it without considering space requirement. That is the first point where we get the biggest challenge. The second challenge, as our speakers are, all of us are thinking, is how to merge the traditional food, traditional menu, traditional restaurant with modern technology. This is another big challenge we have today. Modern technology we want to bring in, modern technology we want to use, but there are so many buts. Right from the knowledge of the kitchen, right from the kitchen equipment vendors, right from the usage of kitchen equipment. Finally, we are talking about the end product. People are using good technology, but they are not merging it well with the traditional food. I want to cook chicken tikka in combi oven. I want to do that. That will be the merging of the technology. But so far, we have just started in India doing something like that. There is a very large scope, there is a very large number of equipment which can come in and bring in new technology inside the kitchen, and this kitchen will have traditional food with modern technology. Combi oven is the first step. This is the first equipment which has brought in the new technology in the Indian or traditional kitchen. But there are many more to come. Again, once we say technology, there is a price labeled on this. This price is another major issue where most of the restaurant people, most of the hotel people, or who want to make a new hotel, have no idea, no clue, because it is not available today in the existing market. If I tell them that you buy this combi oven and this will cost you around 4 lakh rupees, they will say my whole kitchen budget is 4 lakh. We have to convince them We have to tell them that new technology will bring in and this is the outcome. These are the things which you will get. But again, the thinking has to change. The technology will change the thinking once it is used. But before you buy the technology, you have to change your mindset and keep a budget. And that budget has to be substantial to buy the new technology. Most of the restaurants, most of the hotels have very few new technology equipment. So they are not aware, and the people who are advising the owners of the restaurants or the hotel, they have never seen that. So they don't advise. Finally, the consultants who advise them, they have to put their foot down and say, no, you have to buy this. It is so expensive, so what? Because of the usage, because of the technology, you will save so much. There will be consistency of the product. There will be change in presentation. There will be time saving on the kitchen, time saving on the equipment, time saving on the dishes to be prepared. These things have to be still learned by the owners. These things have to be still used by the owners to convince themselves. I would like here people to feel the technology in the kitchen. I would like people to see that how a good technology equipment is used and what are the benefits and what are the usage, what I will say, the consistency of the product, the presentation of the product, the even cookingness of the raw material. These things will help a lot in going a long way with the new technology. I wish we could have this kind of firm more and we could interact with a lot of new owners who have their existing establishments and they get educated and they get feel of the new technology and they try to buy the new technology. Today we have to convince people to buy a new technology, which is a very, very challenging task. Apart from our space requirement, new technology is the second point where we have a biggest challenge. Now the third challenge is educated and what we say, a properly educated staff. We have a very big challenge of finding the right kind of people for right kind of job. Today, we have number of institutes, we have number of people who come for interview, but finding the right kind of person out of 100, it is only 2. Because the education level, because of the awareness level, because of the, what we say, the enthusiasm of the people towards the kitchen, towards the restaurant, towards the hotel is very less. This also brings in the finance part, which is the fourth point of the total scenario, where we have a very big challenge. Our bankers, our investors, our people who want to invest money in these projects have very little knowledge about the food, how it is prepared, how it is served, and what kind of money they have to generate out of this total scenario. People are only looking at ROI. People are looking at when I will get my money back. They are not concerned about the technology, about the space, about the staff, the quality of staff, etc. I wish we could educate the investors, the bankers, the people whose money going into these ventures. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Now, what is an efficient kitchen, we call it? An efficient kitchen is a kitchen where a chef will make the highest quality standard of food with minimal time and less effort. So I'll ask Mr. Rai about this. to do this, what's the best economical method you can adapt in a kitchen, and as a head chef, how you can make a kitchen operation smooth to achieve maximum out of the facilities which has been given to you a challenge?
Hello. Yeah. So, as a chef, I would like to share my experience working in the kitchen. We say any kitchen that you work for, any cuisine that you work for, we get 10 minutes per guest, to serve their food at a level of what they want, what they achieve. And to create that food in 10 minutes, we need to have a very efficient kitchen where, with a good equipment, with good team, with good area to, do that. So, I'm a very passionate chef, right? And sometime when I used to work with another company, I never had a good kitchen to work for, or right equipment to work for. So my entire passion or my entire energy used to go how I'm going to dispense the food rather than creating the food, a good food in that. So I'll just put you two things in that way. I am a IHM graduate 15 years back. When I was in the college, I was using the same old equipment in that 3 years. And when I went to the, a big hotel or restaurant, I was, just clueless. I was just lost how to use this high-end equipment because I was not taught how to use the right equipment in the right way. And I went to my school 2 years back, and I was amazed to see we were using the same equipment after 14 years, right? So I don't know how we are going to educate the young chefs who want to become a chef. In these 15 years, I have seen a lot of revolution have happened in this industry. The kitchen has come from a mile away. The equipment has got a lot of high-end equipment. You can name it and you'll have it in India. I agreed few things with our speakers that as a chef, we are in mercy. We are somebody want to open a restaurant or a hotel. They find a location, they ask for a consultant to do everything, and we as a chef are the last one to join the company. And then the owner expects us to create the wow factor in the food. Now, it happens so many times. I have joined a new property, and the kitchen was done by a consultant, and I said, I'm not going to use the kitchen because this is not what I can use at this cuisine. Now, consultant, I am not blaming that they don't know the job. They know the job very well. But every year, the tradition and cooking equipments, cooking techniques is being changed. And we are the one who are on with that techniques. We know what to use, what is the cuisine, what is the right things, and that particular menu, do we have the right equipment to create the food or not? That's very, very important. So there was a time when I joined one of the biggest hotel in India, and the entire equipment was imported by Germany. And I was very happy, I've got and I was very proud to say, oh yes, I have got a very nice kitchen. But finally, when I went to the kitchen to start my cooking, I was amazed that I was opening a Chinese kitchen and an Indian kitchen where I had a low flame burners. Because though it was from Germany, I was very happy, but though it was not used to me, I was very unhappy. For particular cuisine, for particular different concept, you need a different equipment to create your food, right? And the consultant did everything. He made his money and he went off. Now, who was struggling is the chef. And then when we go and tell our bosses that we need this equipment, they say, we are already exhausted. We don't have money. And then I have no options. So I said, a chef is the one who creates the wow food, who creates a good food, who loves to create the emotion with the food, the love, the affection, to get the best and best business in this industry. But having said that, to create all these things, we need to have a support, back-end support from the owner, from the team management, to support with the right equipment. Now, this is one that I am said, equipment. There are many more things comes in the kitchen before we start the cooking part and to make it a standard to create the wow, again with the cuisine. So name it any cuisine. It's something that a guest will come, order the food, chef, you make the food, give it to him. Now to create this again, a guest welcoming, ordering food and making the food and serving to him, for this 20-minute affair, you need to have a very, very good kitchen, a back-end team who understand the chef's emotions, who understand that how to procure the right ingredients, for the right concept, for the right cuisine? Do we have a right ingredient? Because I have seen many restaurants making a menu with very, very high-end ingredient. You know, I want to use this and this and this and this. Without doing a recce in the market that this ingredients are available in the market or not. So the menu is done, the menu is printed, the restaurant is on, and then later on, after 5 days, they say, I don't have ingredient, I will not able to make this food. So out of 20 items, 5 items are always NA. So this is what I really, so today I own my own restaurant, and I would like to tell you that I don't have that much of big pocket to invest into my kitchen. But as a chef, I just try to create that when you work in the kitchen, you got an area about 5 feet, to move around. And it's very, very, very important that in this 5 feet area, everything should be in your reach. I must compliment few of the companies who has done revolutions in Indian market. One of the Rational one, because I am one of the biggest fan of Rational. They have made my life so easy in last few years. What happened? You make a menu, a guest comes and says, I want to have a steam food, or I want to have grilled food. Something that they can order, and they can ask for any other choice. That's the one oven had helped me so much that I can create whatever guest asks in that one machine. And I say, this is one of the finest machine in the world, is Rational oven. And I must compliment Mr. Pinaki for that, right? Because you can't say no to the guest. Whatever they want, you have to create something for them. And to touch their emotion, you have to have a right equipment. And that's my small experience that I'm sharing with you guys. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chef. Yeah?
Hello. Hi, my name is Dinesh. Having heard and thank Mr. Mathur and Chef Manoj for everything, but when you look at India as a food destination or a market, the amount of diversity we have in our cuisines, there's nothing compared to in the world. So obviously it's got its own complexities and challenges. I don't call it a problem. From a supplier's point of view, we would like to sell our own equipment, but we also need to realize what it is for owners to understand and educate them. Another big problem, the chef, and he's a very skilled person, he's a qualified person. Most of the people in the kitchen are, I'm not saying unskilled, but they have learned the skill or they have learned the crafts, working their way upwards. They always have their own issues of, let's say a job security or what happens to me and other things. That is another important perspective that we have to keep in mind. That's all for the moment.
Thank you. Chef, you mentioned very nice thing about equipment. Well, I think there are a lot to do when you start from the basics. What is your view about the culinary education pattern in this country? Does it sound it's good or need to be changed, or, because a lot of students, they come out from an institute?
Well, I personally believe we need to change a lot in that. I am not denying that what kind of books we use and what kind of practical things we do that. But that tradition has changed a lot in every things, The kids must see the generation next level of equipment, what is there in the market, what is the best in the market. They should be able to get education on the same level. This is one. Second thing, the culinary part has moved a mile away what we used to do 15 years back, the kind of cuisine which we do, So they have to, the institution has to, realize that they have to go ahead with the market to make sure that the new kids should get the same kind of education what is happening in the market. In terms of everything, in terms of equipment, in terms of raw material, in terms of the education of different techniques and different cuisine concepts.
Okay. Thank you very much. I'd like to ask to Mr. Pinaki about, there are a lot of equipments you get from Europe, America, which has been recognized as a Energy Star categories, which means it saves a lot of efficiency, energy in your kitchen. They are more efficient, and they are one of them who has been promoting this concept. And I hope that, you can say something about the efficiency of Energy Star.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mr. Boghani. And my name is Pinaki Banerjee. I represent Rational as the Managing Director for India. First of all, I would like to say that I am not from this industry. I don't have a kitchen background. I'm not a chef. I'm not a consultant. I come from a management background, so I see this industry from a very different pair of eyes. And coming from my background, which is mainly management, I think what I see, which is mostly, in my opinion, which is lacking, what I highly see in the industry is called customer satisfaction. I think no one in the market is really bothered about the end customer. Everyone is looking at their ROI, they're looking at the investment. Consultant wants to feel good about, showing some saving. But what I think matters most in our industry is this end customer satisfaction. Whether you're going to a restaurant, whether you're going to a hotel, whether you're going there. Now, coming back mainly to the topic, I think this is a kind of an ethos as an industry we should definitely keep and maintain within us. But coming back to the efficiency part of the kitchen, I can only tell you one thing, absolutely, definitely. There was a green revolution in India, and there's a kitchen revolution going now on India. Because I say that this industry, I say there are only 3 industries in India which are recession-proof. One is Bollywood, one is cricket, and third one is food. So these are the 3 industries which will never go down. I think we as a company has experienced some wonderful growth in the Indian market. People talk about recession, we have not heard that term within our own business because the whole industry is growing at a very, very significant rate. Now, one of the major challenges which comes, and I've visited many kitchens in my last 2 years, what I've spent in India, going around and seeing the kitchens. And some of the kitchens, if you go, even in a good places, you wouldn't like to eat there, believe me. So I think the first thing to improving efficiency and other things, and I think I was talking to Mr. Boghani earlier, is that we need to have certain standards. And I believe that the Food Standard Agency, they are passing some laws, but we need to start implementing these laws. And I think that will go a long way in terms of developing this market and in terms of growing this market. Now, in terms of an efficient kitchen, when you're a chef or you're a person who's back, working at the nerve center, you have to have a very, very good environment. And what I would say that, I must be very honest, I don't know whether chef will agree, it's very difficult to find a happy chef, The chef is always stressed. That is something which I've always noticed. They're stressed about something as if there's a war going on. And literally, that is a situation in the kitchen. So how do we make their life better? And the way we can make their life better is what we have embarked, and a lot of people, others, are not only Rationale, but other companies are doing it, is this education. Because as Chef quite correctly said, that combi ovens by default is the technology in the Western world. But when I came to India, the first thing what I saw about combi ovens is just being used for reheating. Nobody knows the usage of the product. And the product usage was 10%. And I come from an industry which is like a glass industry. Now we put an investment and we use that investment 24/365. I think Mr. Mathur earlier said, these equipments are not cheap also. So you must use them to get the value. And how do you get to use them? Is you need to educate the people. We have made it compulsory in India. Whether you are a one-man band army or whether you are a Nando's or a KFC or anything, every unit of combi which we install in India, we are going to give a compulsory one-day training to our customers, whether they like it, whether they don't like it. And our idea is to increase the usage and create the awareness. I think Mr. Boghani alluded to another very good point about schools. We are associated with 45 schools, top hotel management schools in India, where we have given our oven for future chefs coming out. And this is an education. It's not only whether it's Rationale, there are 60 other combi steamer manufacturers. Everybody is, good in their own way. But this is to enlighten the industry, to make it a better place. And at the end of the day, I think I'm very complimentary to Chef because he's honestly confessed, to make your life easy, you will need technology. There is no substitute for that. If you're a hotel owner, yesterday I was sitting with one of the biggest Shetty chain owners in Mumbai. And he is very, very traditional. He was selling vada pav. And now I think he owns almost 30 to 40 properties in Mumbai and in other places. And he was saying that either I start using technology or I get wiped out of the industry. So the usage of technology is very, very important. Now, Mr. Mathur made a very important point, pricing. I think we are all in business. We need to get pricing into matter. But what is most important is this ROI. We always tell all our customers, if you use combi steamers in general as a technology, you get your ROI within 1 year. Tell me one single kitchen equipment where you can get your return on investment within a year's time. I can assure you there is none which you can get. Now, how does this happen? You know, coming back to the topic of efficiency. First of all, there is a tremendous saving of 50% in energy. Now, walk into any traditional kitchen in India. The first thing, what do you experience? You experience extreme heat. You are heating up the whole environment. The cooking heat is only 10 or 15%. 85% of the fuel is getting wasted. So the amount of wastage what you're doing, one doesn't realize. Because labor is cheap, people think that, okay, you know, let me just waste. The second thing is the amount of oil you're using. The third thing is in terms of using less labor. You can get your chefs to do the more important things, the more essential things, rather than, so the use of technology has to become by default accepted in India. And I would say that the way the Indian cooking is done, we have got variety of food which has been done, but let's go back to our basic. Food is all about steaming and heating, convection heat and as well as boiling. These are the two main criteria. And this is what this kind of a technology offers. And I think people who have experienced this technology, I can only go by our statistics and record, 50% of our sales is from repeat customers. They have experienced this joy, they have found benefits about using this product, and that has made a difference to them. It's just not only selling a product. You know, I'm very, very proud because I am today in India sitting here and we are creating a revolution. And the market is changing. People are adapting. And one has to use efficiency. Efficiency, quality, productivity, these are all the critical elements to run your business and to make your business successful. We've also given it to temples like Akshardham and a lot of other places where people are using this and made it a very, very big success. So I would say that, you know, it is a big challenge in India. The tandoor existed almost 300 years back and it still exists. But we have to change with time and technology to get in the efficiencies what we need in the various things, whether it is energy efficiency, and the most important thing is making the kitchen a better environment to work. You know, we don't want the chefs. Why are the chefs all heated up? Because of the fuel which is heating them up.
One more thing is there.
Yeah. So that,
One more thing is there.
that is something. Won't you agree, chef?
I agree. And I must say one thing on that, comment on that. You know, so I have worked with almost 15 restaurants and hotels. Few restaurant, we got air conditioning in the kitchen, as in fresh air. Few restaurant, we got a fresh air. So in the summer, we used to so scared that 40-degree temperature is going to come in the kitchen. Apart from that, normal heat that is there in the kitchen. And we were so scared that the whole day we were sweating around, taking all the attention to create a good food. But, you know, again, we are in the mercy.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I would say for any businessman who's running a kitchen, whether it's a hotel, a restaurant, a QSR, you know, you have to use technology. And believe it or not, if you're not using technology, I can assure you with a lot of confidence that you will not be able to survive the long run. You might get gains in the short term, but accepting technology and using technology and question, challenge. We don't sell an oven without demonstrating our product. We have got 50 such demonstration sites all across India. We educate the people, we show them the benefit, and every kitchen is unique. And they have different challenges. And one of the biggest challenges what I face in our industry today are two. One is staff turnover, manpower, which I think both the earlier speakers spoke about, and standardization of food. You know, there's so much of food poisoning. Nobody knows HACCP data, Salmonella, there's majority of things going on. We need standardization within our industry. And people who are offering standardizations are winning this game. People who are offering technology, who are changing with time, are definitely winning this game. So definitely I see a great future because I have seen with our company providing this technology, we have had a fantastic running in this market, and we will continue to educate, develop and support this market. So I think efficiency and technology is going to be the key for future success within this industry.
Thank you very much, sir. The other area in kitchen, I believe, which has been very well neglected is the warewashing and dishwashing. You know, the amount of water being consumed in an operational kitchen is enormous because it's been cheap. I mean, it's not like Western countries where you pay a very high cost for using a water. You know, so there is a lot of things that is to be done in the dishwashing and washware area also. And I would ask Mr. Dinesh to highlight something on that.
Hello. Hello. Can you hear me? Hello.
Yeah, I think it's on. It's on.
It's on. Okay. Yeah. I mean, like Rajan said, I mean, Pinaki was very efficient in what he said. All he said was it's so important that in terms of an efficient kitchen, got to do these things. And part of a very efficient kitchen is the proper dishwashing area. The world has moved on in terms of automation in dishwashing areas, but we still believe in a lot of labor in India, in spite of the HACCP laws and other things. I think it's very important to understand what a dishwasher, per se, a small dishwasher gets to the kitchen. It alienates so much of problems in terms of, the plates that you use, the utensils that you use, the chipping away, you save so much on that, people don't realize. They look at it just as a cost. They don't do a cost-benefit analysis in terms of what it is to use a dishwasher, what it could give you additionally. They look at the area in terms of, operating a dishwashing area or something, but they don't realize the ultimate benefit. They look at it a very short-term perspective, in my opinion. And I'm not just saying it to sell because we make dishwasher, but that's true. They need to have a bigger perspective. They need to see the bigger picture in terms of what it can do. People people travel abroad today. They look at kitchens abroad. They look at the operations abroad. I think they need to realize. It's the same with a combi oven, for example. A lot of chefs, about maybe 10 years back, because I come from a similar background of combi ovens, they are not aware of what a combi oven is. Still, I believe India is still a very growing market. Still, we've not even touched the minimum in terms of, what we can do with combi ovens, for example. It's same with dishwashers, while has been accepted over the last, 5-6 years. I've seen a lot of acceptance, but I think still they need to go beyond what is happening. And that's what I feel, for dishwashing.
Thank you. The other area in the kitchen is about storage. I believe chef must be facing a lot of problem when you get a one fridge and store everything in one fridge.
Well, normally, when we do a background, we look forward to have a walk-in, deep freezer, inbuilt, normal Tolson, different fridges in that. But then I said initially that, we are the one who joined a little late on the project, and it's too late to go and demand for people to get things done in the area. Now, I was just, we were discussing about the dishwasher area and with the refrigeration. What happened when we intend to open a restaurant, we say about, example, 2,000 square feet area for 70 cover restaurant. Now, how much area do you give it to the kitchen? Okay, let's give 400 square feet area. Okay. So now in 400 square feet area, how much we are going to give it to the dishwash? So dishwash, how much do we need? I think we need about 50 square feet. Are Baba gives him 30 square feet, not at least 20 square feet, we can have 2 more covers in the restaurant. So if the guy is so concerned about his cover in the restaurant, he's not allowing us to have a good dishwash, how are you going to give me area for a good storage? And I'm not saying this is one. This is 90% of the case in India. I will be very rude to this as a chef, but this is happening. We are not a god who will go and dispense a good food because they want us to create a good food. They don't understand that how much pain do we take. We are the one, if the food is not good, call the chef. Why the cost is high, call the chef. Why this is not happening, call the chef. Now every time chef is being asked the question by the owners, by the management, but he is the only one who's been left alone of his own need.
Thank you. Mr. Rakesh Thara, I would like to put a question to him because he comes from a refrigeration industry. What is importance of a storage when it comes to a restaurant's food storage and food safety? I mean, that is directly related to your efficiency, I believe. If you don't store food properly and cook in right time, it eventually relates to the kitchen efficiency.
Yeah. Hi, morning. I'm Rakesh Tara. I'm from a refrigeration company from UK, Adande. As the name suggests, Adande stands for Applied Design and Engineering. So in refrigeration also, we are trying to be specialist. Like a heart and coronary specialist, we like to be specialist in refrigeration. And the most important aspect in any kitchen is cooking and refrigeration. And refrigeration is one of the challenge, especially in India, which every chef, every engineering department, every outlet, every hotel faces in a bulk. The problem of erratic voltage supply, the problem of meltage, the problem of stale foods. So it's a great challenge for the chef who, as he rightly said, he is expected to be multitasking. So that is why the stress level for the chefs, they are on the higher side. In management terms, as Pinaki said, so multitasking, everyone wants multitasking these days, and they love the guy who are expert in doing multitasking, and chefs are expected. In the time span, if you see for the chef, 3 hours lunchtime, maximum stretch, 3 hours dinner time, and he has to give the complete, from starters to the dessert, everything right on time and within that time. And the time between his mise a plat is actually wasted if he has some issues regarding refrigeration or food, or he has to replan something because of some problem. So in this, we are trying to give an option to the industry where when we say food storage is most important, we are trying to give a specialized refrigeration where we say our refrigerated cooling drawers, first thing, they don't require any ventilation. You can completely or simply put those drawers even in cupboard and it will give you 110% cooling. So maximum storage, maximum cooling, and maximum dependability of that unit, that is the answer we are trying to give. But unlike, as they really said, education is the most important thing. So in India, we have a habit, we always say, oh, value for money, value for money. But unfortunately, value for money, we understand only the price. We don't understand value for money means long life of the equipment rather than the price. We might save something on a cheap product in the beginning, but later on, if it has to be the number of complaints or the turn down, companies do AMC, they do give warranty. But what is the fun of having that getting repaired and repaired in those periods? So if we invest on good machines, right machines, then definitely the ROI of any outlet, of any industry, it is automatically taken care of. The only thing is perception has to change. Okay? High-priced product does not always mean that our cost will go high. It means, yes, we might like to put more to get the maximum mileage. A simple question, anyone taking the Maruti vehicle for the first time, he will always start with the Maruti, the basic model. But second time, have you seen anyone discussing or talking, oh, I'll take another Maruti? No, he'll upgrade. So the understanding is that after using, after having the discomfort zones, after having the pain areas being faced by him, he wants to upgrade where he says trouble should be less, operation should be smooth. So those are the kind of solutions we are trying to bring into this country. And rightly said, education has to start from the institute level where the budding chef should know the difference between product and good product. Consultants are helping us, chefs are helping us. The need is the end customer also has to learn. And in this, chef also has to play a lot of role because sometimes chefs, they are actually expert in using this. But unfortunately, their team, the end user, they have a phobia of adopting the technology. So most of the time, they will prefer a traditional method than using a high technology oven or any equipment. So the ease, he rightly said they are imparting education, giving training because they are trying to eliminate the phobia of the helper of a cook who is actually doing the cooking under his guidance. And
Thank you very much. I think we are all covering about equipments and everything, but there is one subject which is very important. Chef, it goes to you, that ultimately you're going to handle with human manpower. There is a lot to do with the positive and negative energy in the kitchen. How you handle as a head chef these human beings. Can you just highlight in the best way to do this?
Exactly.
You know, we have been talking about machines. That's one part of efficiency. I think human handling is a bigger task than that also.
Well, as said, rightly said that, if we have a good kitchen and the staff is in a comfort zone and they are, flawless going with these things, they'll be very happy. Now, when you don't have a good kitchen, a good storage area, they'll get frustrated very fast. So how I have handled, in last 15 years, that I have been working hands to hand with the team and trying to help them wherever they required me. Now, what happened, when they see the senior guys putting a lot of effort to create and to try to teach them about what I can, pass my technical strong techniques to them. And it's very important to talk to your team every morning and every evening, and make them busy, engage them into a positive way. Instead, try to take a lot of, so what I should do, training was my thing that I should take every week. And whenever there's time and we are free, let's create some new dishes. Let's get into a new technique. So there are a lot of things that we can discuss about different area in the kitchen, about, for example, storage. I had happened that I've been to a college for a session about something, and this topic came as a storage. I asked one guy, what is your dry store temperature? He said, I don't know. I said, if you have a walk-in and deep, how are you going to keep your cooked food and raw food at which level and where? He had no answer to that. Now, well, as an Indian, the weather is very, very challenging. And with all this thing, and this kind of things, when you talk to your kids, when you talk to your staff, it's motivate them. You should educate them, whatever is these things in that, because they are the one who's going to be the future leaders in their own field. So that's to keep them very positive, to keep motivate them. That was the way I used to handle them. And of course, putting a lot of hard work by myself with the team. That was the one mantra I used to follow.
Thank you. That's a good thing. The other thing what we have been discussing is about energy. I believe in a kitchen we spend about 28 to 30% energy in heating, air conditioning, and ventilations. And most of the time we have seen across, people don't put enough ventilations, proper hood system. And that indirectly or directly affects your staff. They get frustrated, they get sweat. I mean, they are not in a good ambience to really perform their skills. So for that, I would say, Mr. Mathur, if you can highlight something on what is the importance of an HVAC in a real good kitchen.
Hello. Hello. See, HVAC ventilation is such an important thing for the efficiency of staff as well as equipment. We have a lot of refrigeration equipment in the kitchen, and we have a lot of staff working in the kitchen. Now, ventilation means fresh air supply, ventilation means exhaust in the hoods, and ventilation means temperature control in the kitchen. This temperature control means we are talking about water coming inside in the kitchen at the right temperature. We are talking about ice cuber working properly. We are talking about refrigerator working properly, freezer giving the right temperature, and finally, my trainee cook is not sweating. That is so important for me, that my cooks, the people who are working in the kitchen, are not sweating. That is the first rule which we have, or rather we would like to implement in all the kitchens in India, which is 90% neglected today. You go to any dhaba, you go to any good kitchen, and you will find people sweating. They are not sweating because of the heat in the heat coming out of the burners. They are sweating because there is no ventilation or very poor ventilation, or people don't know what ventilation is. So these are basics which will help us to bring out better food, consistency in the food, efficiency of the equipment, and efficiency of our staff. It is so important, but it is very, very neglected area in our kitchens.
Thank you, sir. Any questions from our audience would like to have to any one of the speakers, please?
Good afternoon, jury. I'm Mr. Digant Parekh, CFO from Kebab Express of the Russell Hospitality Group. My one question that you have been talking about a lot of technological advancement and all the techniques to be used. What it has been observed that, this technology comes like a sort of an HP printer, where the cost of a printer is quite low, but when you take the consumables, the cost is very high. Perhaps the reason is that most of the technological advancement techniques which you are talking of are not indigenous, and hence it incurs a lot of cost. Now, is there any plan going ahead, or how do you actually give comfort? Say, example, if we have to adopt this technology, what comfort we have that the add-ons which will come with the basic equipment or the technology will also not be much, or it can be indigenously managed?
Hi. As you rightly said, the technology and what is the backup for it, because if it is coming everything from abroad, and how we plan to reduce the cost in the coming future. See, as all the companies, they are looking towards India, there's a lot of R&D going on there, and there are all of the strategies are reshaping. In this direction, my company has taken the first step. We being from UK, we have opened up a production facility in Pune, so where we are trying to produce these cooling drawers, exporting 5,000 units per annum to Europe. So we can proudly say, made in India, sent to Europe, and accepted and made as per their standards. So that's what we are trying to do, trying to give you a world-class product at indigenous level. Yes, definitely the cost will come, because the reason being, as of rightly you said, the printer costs less, but maintenance is more. In our case, people has to understand, product might cost more at this moment, but maintenance is very less, where you actually save. If I say a normal gasket in a refrigerator, the lifespan of that gasket is 1 year or 1.5 years. I have developed a technology where my gasket life is 10 to 15 years. And the warranty on my gasket is 5 years. So this is how, when we are trying to bring in the technology, so at the moment technology might be slightly expensive, but the maintenance cost, you're saving on the AMC and the maintenance, actually it is a value for money. That's what we were talking of. Not on the price side, but see the value for money, what the equipment is giving you.
I'll just add 1 or 2 points what Mr. Tara just said. I think one of the biggest challenges within our industry today is when people buy a piece of equipment, they think that it's never going to break down. And that is being totally unrealistic, because it is a mechanical part. When you buy a car, don't you send it for servicing? The answer is yes, we all do send it for servicing, and then we use it. The biggest problem today in our industry, when they buy the equipment, they don't maintain it. So one of the solutions that many companies are offering, including us, is to do a preventive maintenance contract at a reasonable price. Let's talk about combi ovens, which I represent. We are doing a PMC at 9,999 rupees. That's nothing. For such a mechanical, high technology equipment, there's nothing. The second thing, I think what is most important, is to have a very, very strong service network. I think I would advise everyone, whoever is buying imported equipment, please check with your suppliers, whatever the equipment is, that whether they have a very, very strong service network backing them up. And the third thing, where there is absolutely lack of transparency, and I think that's an excellent question what you've asked, is that nobody has a clue on the spare part pricing. How much is a gasket going to cost? How much is going to be a fan motor? So whenever we are now selling equipments, we are providing our customers a transparent price list. And I'm sure as a consumer, everyone should demand in the market that please give us clarity on your spare part pricing. It's not going to come free, but at least if you have got transparency, that's going to make a huge, significant difference. So just to summarize, please check that there is a good, strong service network and you have a total clarity on spare part pricing, and please go for preventive maintenance contract. Even like if we give a warranty of 2 years, I encourage every one of my customer to say, please go, because if you're using it, you need to maintain it. It's a mechanical unit. And that is what is sometimes not done in the market, and then the blame is passed on that, oh, it's a terrible piece of kit, whatever has been done. You should first introspect and see that what you're doing with the equipment yourself.
Thank you.
You know, what Pinaki said is absolutely true. I've been in the industry for about 12 years now. And if you look at combi ovens, the evolution has started about 6 years back. But they were being bought earlier also by the bigger groups like Taj and Oberoi's, starting from 2002. And I've met many chefs. You know, I've met many chefs and I've asked them, I said, this looks new. They would not allow another person to use it. They were so passionate about it. It's important to be passionate about such piece of equipment, because that's when you take care. You look at your own example. If you buy a new car, you buy a big branded car, you have to take care of it, right? That's what he means, basically. Another point is that with regard to spares, I mean, I'm a seller. I advise a lot of my customers to, when they buy a product, to add some other, you know, a little bit of more money and talk to the person selling to them and get the spare parts essential which is there. So in case of an imported company, not many people stock parts. And it takes time for it to get it from abroad, and by the time there is a breakdown, it fails. It's happened with us. We used to sell to KFC and McDonald's, and all the turnaround time is so fast there. They lose a lot of money, especially with fryers, for example. They sell a lot of fries, and that's the biggest money-making this thing for KFC and McDonald's. But McDonald's worldwide, they have a policy of spares which they keep, buy and keep. Maybe in warranty we replace it, and after the warranty, okay, they start paying for it. That's a different issue. But even for a user who's buying maybe a one combi oven, it's important for him to understand what it is that makes it function. Because once you start using a product like a combi, it becomes within 6 or 8 months a very high-use product. And used almost for such a long time on a daily basis, eventually it'll start, there will be breakdowns if it's not maintained. Even if the best of maintenance, there are certain things which happen. So it's important that you educate yourself about the product before you actually buy it. That's my...
Good morning. My name is Chandani Sehgal, and I'm director of a hospitality advisory firm. We largely advise on the business aspect of running large hospitality projects. One of the projects we are involved in is with an international chain of fine dine restaurants. They have 5,000 restaurants across the world, so it's one of the largest chains. And we are having a lot of difficulty in the Indian chefs sort of adapting to the international designs that are coming. So we had 3 chefs on board and a project manager, and none of them would see eye to eye with what the designers come from the US. Then we engaged some consultants. That added to the complexity, because now it was consultant versus project manager, consultant versus chef 1, chef 2, and chef 3. So those guys got pretty frustrated. They flew in their guy here, and he said to me, Chandni, just forget it. We have chef-agnostic kitchens, and that's the way of the world now. Because the chefs are going to change every now and then. They're going to give the owners a hard time. Learn from us. I'm sorry, I'm saying this to you, chef. And he said, forget about it. These kitchens are chef-agnostic. The guys with me, I mean, we took them on a whirlwind tour, saw some Indian equipment. They brought the cost, the Americans brought the cost down to half of what our chef was insisting for. Half. Then they made it, like you are rightly saying, energy efficient. I mean, they were very, very energy specific. Third is they outsourced a lot of things in terms of assembly outside of the kitchen. So the space came down, so it went out into some aspects. And fourth is, like you rightly said, they were very insistent on the spare part and all that, last mile situation, anticipating what's going to go on and so forth. But now what we are eventually finding is that, as many chefs as we hire, they are sort of, coming in and going out, even though this is a large setup. So I feel that it's going to be a combination of equipment plus manpower. And that is where what our learnings are coming from. So I'd like to learn from you how you guys, sort of advise people like us to move. And the last but not the least is the rising cost of equipment. The business plans are now going from 18 months recovery on one outlet to 25 months, 30 months, 35 months, even before we have started. So the franchise owners are getting cold feet, which is a bad idea, And I want to tell the gentleman here that it is not a recession-proof industry. Last year, the largest chain in the country, Jubilant, on the stock market reported a decline of 50% on year-on-year on same sales growth. And on the other side, they were just growing 5% and 6%. So we saw a lot of breaks there. So I don't believe it is recession-proof. In fact, it is so discretionary, eating out is so discretionary for Indians, not for Americans, that it is very, very recession-sensitive. And we can talk offline on those elements.
Ma'am, actually, we are running out of time. So I think,
that's why I
think I would like to give you an answer for this one. I would say I'm one of the luckiest chef in this country. When I passed out, I worked with one of the biggest chain in the world as an industrial chain company. I won't name it the company. So when I joined, I was very young, about 21 years old, and that was my first company. It took us 3 months. We got hardcore training, only the equipment, and the company SOPs, standard recipes. Today, it's been 15 years, and that recipe, that standard is my blood now. But when I moved away from the company and I worked with Indian restaurants and Indian hotel, I have not seen a standard being maintained in that way, right? So if I say about combi, for example, giving combi oven, we said about maintenance, very simple. In one kitchen, if I have 10 guys, how many guys know that a combi oven requires a soft water? It's not about consultant. So they come and train us, but the staff turnover was so high, the equipment maintenance comes from the chefs. They are the one who are running for 12 hours every day. They should know how to maintain that. Every combi oven, for example, has got automatic cleaning options. We don't do that. Exactly.
I think we are running out of time. We can take it offline.
Yeah, I just have one question. Regarding you're talking about problems with the menu and the equipment. Is it a standardized menu worldwide which you're going to adapt here? 90%. Then I don't see a problem. I think it's important for the chefs to undergo training. No offense to chefs, but if you look at if you look at KFC, McDonald's, the chefs are adaptive to the whole product. It's a consistent product.
I like to conclude in a very simple tone. By and large, Indian restaurants, there is no mandatory system to make an SOP when you run a business. You go to a good UDP restaurants, the owner at a mercy that when a customer comes, you don't have a Chinese food, it comes in his menu. Next day comes, you don't have a pav bhaji, it comes in a menu. So it is all about mindset, the business how you want to run, and if you adopt a proper system in your business. Why we talk about McDonald's, KFC, Pizza Hut success? They operate system-driven business. Now, if this has been brought in the Indian hospitality industry, seriously, I think there is nothing to look back. There is a scope, And the other fact to conclude is, why Indian restaurants are not doing so well? Sometimes they say, Indians have an habit to eat once or twice a week outside meal. You look at Southeast Asia or Asia, people eat outside most of the time, right? That goes to a message about hygiene. We all Indians, we say, we go to restaurants, we get felt sick, or I like home food. Why? So I think we need to carry, it's all about the people sitting here, they are restaurant owners, they are hoteliers. Let's take a positive step out of this, whatever PM has done of Clean India. Why didn't you get up everybody, talk about clean kitchen and show it to people? I think your sales efficiency would increase automatically by customers coming to your restaurants. If you have more visitors, more guests coming to your restaurants, the efficiency comes from him automatically. So, you know, it's people talk about investment, my return on investment. There are two sides of a coin, you know. You have to look how to increase the sales. And that I should admire one American chain made it mandatory. Guest goes, eat a burger or a chicken. You can walk in the kitchen and see that you are 100% safe. Why those standards is not been taken into Indian food service industries? That is what it counts, you know.
Thank you. With this, we end this session.